Hey guys, it's Julia, and for today's video I'm going to be doing another book review, and today we're going to be talking about Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. And this book, I'm pretty sure it's Gillian Flynn. If it's Gillian Flynn, I'm really sorry. But this book is a thriller, and it actually is coming out with the movie I think on August 8th. And I can't see the movie because it's rated R, which gets me mad, but that's not the point. The book. I read the book this month and I really enjoyed this. And if you don't know what it's about, well, it's a thriller, so it's kind of your option if you want to go into it with knowing things. But it is a thriller, so a lot of people like going into these blind, so I think I'll leave it that way, but I will leave the Goodreads page down below if you do want to look up a synopsis. But overall, my thoughts on it, I really enjoyed this. Like, just by the synopsis, I knew this story was like right up my alley. I found the characters interesting, and just the tone and the writing to this, like the writing flowed beautifully. Everything was really nice, and I love how we kind of went back in time, you know? We went back to different perspectives too, and it was really interesting to follow a bunch of characters. Sometimes I felt a little overwhelming that we were following 3 characters and some of them would be back in time. But other than that, I really liked this. It was really interesting and really good. It was just a really fun ride, and it was really interesting to read about, and also you really got an insight to a family with financial issues, because our main character, she grew up with a lot of financial issues and things like that, so you really got an insight to that, which I don't usually read about in books, so I found it really interesting to read about that. And also there's like Satanist stuff in here, so that's not good, but that was a little bit what was in here, which I don't like. It was not interesting to read about, but it was different to read about, you know. Not that I support that or anything. Nope, don't support. Nope. But it was still, like, I guess an okay aspect to the story. Like, they had to have it in there, if you know what I mean, for this thriller. But it was really well done, and that's all I'll say for the non-spoiler section. If you really do want to check it out, I am gonna give quickly, like, you can leave now if you don't want to hear it, but I will leave I'm gonna give a quick synopsis for you guys who haven't read it. So we follow a girl named Libby Day, and she was a witness kind of to the murder of her family, and basically her mom and her 2 sisters died, and the only person that survived was her and her brother, who is 15 years old. His name is Ben, and she thinks, or she saw Ben kill everybody. So she tells that to the police, and he gets testified against, and everything kind of made sense that he was there, plus there was some evidence that kind of said it was Ben, and that's the story. And then that happened when she was 7, and then we go back to when she's like 30 years old, which is in present time of the story, and we follow her as she gets contacted by this club called the Kill Club, who I guess works with crimes. It's like an underground kind of club, and they work with crimes that have been like unsolved, or the crime that they didn't think were solved correctly. And the guy contacts Libby, and things go down from there, and they try to tell her Ben may not be innocent, and it's about her finding everything out about that night, because she never really thinks about it anymore, because, well, 1, she's like depressed, and 2, she doesn't like thinking about it, because I wouldn't want to think about it either. So that's the premise of the story. If that sounds something that would intrigue you, I really do recommend it. It's really interesting, and I guess thought-provoking, but like it's an insight, definitely. So if that's something that interests you, I would highly recommend checking it out. And now we get into the spoilery section. So yes, bye if you haven't read it. Bye. Okay, so I found this book, it was just really interesting. I need to stop doing this. I don't stand usually for filming. It makes me sound lazy, but I'm not. But the whole thing wrapped up really well. I also loved how the birds are loud. I love how we kind of went back, and like we were following Libby in present day, but we were also following Ben and Patty, her mom, a day before the murder. And like as we went through the story, it was getting closer to the murder, and you kind of saw how everything happened. And you know, I didn't really know if Ben was innocent. Like, I kind of obviously thought he was innocent, because that's kind of the whole point of the story. Like, is he innocent or not? And I doubt they would end it with that he was guilty, but he still wasn't fully innocent, you know. And we have the whole thing with him and Diandra, or whatever her name is, and they were sneaking around, and she got pregnant, and she was gonna have a baby, and they wanted to run, basically. And Michelle, the youngest sister of Libby, Debbie and Michelle is the youngest, and she's kind of snooping around, and she finds out that he's a dad, basically, or he's gonna be a dad. And since she knows that's a threat, and Diandra is there, and they're gonna run, and they're in their house, and then Diandra is talking to Michelle, and she starts strangling her. I didn't see that coming. I was like, what? And he was just standing there watching his sister die. I was like, oh, don't do that, buddy, stop. And so she killed her while strangling her, and I really don't like talking about this, but whatever. It's the story, okay? But then also the whole aspect with how the rest of the thing went down, and how the mother Patty hired a kind of like a hitman type of thing, where she hired someone to kill her because she was miserable. And also they were getting rid of the farmhouse, so they were poor, and had their financial issues before like the farm stuff happened, and now the farm was gonna be taken away, and they were just having so much financial issues. And she just thought if she died, she was miserable, and two, if she just died, they would get her, like they would get money for it. So she did that, but Debbie kind of got in the way of the kill, and they killed Debbie too, but they also killed Patty. And then Libby, she just got out of the way, and she ran, and Ben just went to the barn, and he let Diandra run on her own because he wanted to protect her, and that's why he didn't really say much to the police, and he didn't say like he didn't do it. But that's how the murder ended up playing out. And so Ben got free, and well, then it was weird because it was also interesting how Libby was going to visit like Trey, and she was visiting the little girl with Ben, that type of thing. And I found it really interesting how, I also found it very interesting how, well, one, Libby went to see with the detective Lyle. I really liked him. He was cool. But they went to visit, they found Diandra's address because they heard her name floating around a bit between all the people they talked to, and they found her address, and basically she had a daughter named Crystal. And one, I like the name because I always like those weird names like Destiny and Crystal, but they're not weird, but they're unique, and I like those names. But I found it weird because Crystal was Ben's daughter, which was probably awkward. And then they tried to kill her because they realized that Crystal did something stupid, and she mentioned something from Michelle's diary, and she like agreed to it, and she kind of whispered it, and then Libby heard, and they thought she would start putting the pieces together. So they kind of just almost like, what was that? They almost kind of just tried to kill her. And luckily she got away and everything. Like, I knew she was gonna get away, obviously. Those chase scenes really scare me. They don't scare me, but they bother me. And that whole issue happened, but at least Diandra got in trouble for everything, but Crystal ran, and I don't think Libby ever mentioned Crystal to the cops because she thought the girl's been through enough, like let her go and everything. But Diandra is probably in jail now. And Ben was saying how he thinks he served enough time for just standing and watching, if that makes sense. So yeah, but that's how the whole story ended up going. And it was good that I think Libby's finally gonna be able to move on, and she was finally, you know, looking through her old family stuff and like facing the fear she had and everything. So I thought that was really well done. I really enjoyed this. I think I'll be picking up a lot more by this author. It was just a really fun ride. Not fun, but it was a really interesting ride and a really interesting experience to follow. And all the characters were pretty interesting. Like, some of them I didn't like. Obviously I didn't like Diandra or any of them, but I our main character was fine to follow, and Lyle was a cool guy in the story that I think added a touch, even though he's a lot younger, which is kind of interesting, especially in the movie trailer. Like, he looks really young. But yeah, that is my thoughts on Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. I hope you enjoyed this quick review. Not really quick, it's 11 minutes of footage I got, but you know. Yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any requests for any video ideas, please leave them down below. I'd love to take a look at them and do some. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. If you did like this, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe down below, or do both, whatever pleases you or whatever you wish. So I'll see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye.